Developing World Connections is a Canadian nonprofit organization that offers the opportunity to help those in need in the developing world through international volunteer experiences. Every year since 2005, we've sent hundreds of volunteers to work on sustainable projects in 13 different countries in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Each year from May to August, we feature student volunteer trips for anyone between the ages of 16 to 29. As a DWC student volunteer, you'll spend 2 to 4 weeks working as part of a volunteer team led by a trained team leader on a sustainable community-led project. More often than not, this involves building homes, schools, medical facilities, livelihood centers, and water irrigation systems. We partner with reputable in-country organizations to find the most beneficial projects for that specific community. You don't need any special skills or training.
Hi, I'm Devon Rasmussen. I'm a third-year medical student at the University of British Columbia, and I've been involved with DWC as a student volunteer in Swaziland, as a team leader in Sri Lanka, and as a team leader in the Philippines. I first got involved with DWC not because I always had a passion for working overseas or helping people in low-resource settings. I actually used to be of the mindset that $2,000 or $3,000 would be better spent on a watch or something like that, that you could keep forever, unlike a trip or some kind of volunteering overseas where it's just going to last for a couple of weeks and you're going to forget all about it and it's going to be of no consequence in your life. Completely wrong. I was fortunate enough to be sort of shown the light by my girlfriend at the time. After first year of undergrad, she convinced me to go work in a bar in Greece, which has nothing to do with helping people in low-resource settings, but it was kind of my eye-opener to the world outside of Canada. The following summer, after second year, I had a friend who was a team leader for DWC looking for people to go to Swaziland with him. And my girlfriend, again at the time, convinced me, yeah, this is something we should try and do. So, off to Swaziland we went. The project we worked on in Swaziland was basically looking at alleviating stresses on local grandmothers in a small community who are taking care of HIV/AIDS orphans. We helped to build a small community center that would offer some literacy training and some meals each day to some of the local orphans to alleviate some of the stresses on these grandmothers. I had an amazing time. It changed the way that I looked at the world, and it inspired me to get more involved with DWC and become a team leader, which is an amazing opportunity as a student to see the world, gain project management experience, leadership experience, deal with acute scenarios, all these different things. That was huge for me, actually, sort of developing my personal and professional characteristics for someone going into medicine. I was a team leader for a project in Sri Lanka the following year after my third year of undergrad. I was responsible for selecting a team from my university to go there. And then for all of the fundraising, all of the health and safety issues relevant to the team while we were in the country, before we got to the country, huge project management, leadership opportunities. In Sri Lanka, we were working on addressing some of the issues that are still a problem in southern Sri Lanka after the Boxing Day tsunami in 2004. There are still a lot of people left homeless, a lot of buildings destroyed that haven't been reconstructed. So we're working on a long-standing project that DWC has been working on. It's a trades training facility to increase carpentry training resources in the southern areas of Sri Lanka. Easily the best time of my entire life. I know I'm a pretty young guy, but still, easily the most valuable experience I've had to date in terms of changing the way that I see myself in the world as a global citizen, changing my priorities and my goals for my future, and also just in terms of finding out sort of who I am, which sounds cheesy, but you learn a lot about yourself when you're on these trips and what's important to you. For my last year in between undergrad and med school, I did another trip. I actually team led it with my girlfriend at the time to the Philippines, where we worked with a small charitable organization there in Cebu to start building a livelihood training facility for basically single mothers who were in the sex trade looking for an alternate livelihood. Another very, very meaningful experience for me. If you make the commitment to volunteer for DWC, which I hope you will, you spend basically the year getting to know the rest of your team, doing some fundraising, just getting together and planning your trip, planning some of the fun stuff you'll do on weekends and after the trip. And then you get to the country, and you start working with the host partner that DWC has organized for you on a day-to-day basis doing construction work. So it is manual labor. Get up around 8:30, 7:30, depending on what country you're working in. Have a good breakfast together, then all hop in a van, go to the work site, and meet up with all the different workers from the local area that you're working in, and start pickaxing, shoveling, moving things, nailing, laying bricks, and it's very satisfying work. You get to spend a lot of time talking with some of the locals and learning a little bit more about what life is like for them in a sort of more casual setting than maybe others are. And yeah, at the end of the day, you go home. Typically, you'll have a group of 10 people, 15 people. You all make dinner together, have some bonding time, get to know each other a little bit better, play cards, do all these different things. Maybe you'll do something cultural that night and do something with the local host partner. On weekends, you'll go do any number of different things depending on what country you're in. You might go for a hike, go see a herd of elephants, go on a safari, go swimming in a waterfall. From the local community's perspective, we're coming in and we're helping people the way that they've asked to be helped. They've identified issues that are important to their community, like access to water, access to irrigation, access to education, job training, and we're coming in and helping them the way that they'd like to be helped. Maybe it'll take us 5 or 6 trips to finish a building, but the building is going to end up being run by locals sustainably to help people for generations to come. We're also creating groups of people coming from these high resource settings, Vancouver, Toronto, wherever across Canada, who are gaining an appreciation for what life is like for people in these low resource settings, and hopefully inspiring some sense of desire, or willingness, or obligation to do something about it in the future. The work that I've done with Developing World Connections in Vancouver, Swaziland, Sri Lanka, and the Philippines defines who I am now and who I aspire to be. I just got off of a 11-hour shift in emergency, and I'm here talking to you guys, not because I have to, but because I want to share with you my experiences and try and show you that they really are worthwhile. As students looking to go into medicine, and just as fortunate Canadian citizens, I highly recommend getting involved with Developing World Connections. Even if you don't have much money as a student, you can still make it happen through fundraising or working. And once you've gone on a trip, you can be a team leader for a very minimal cost because the team absorbs most of your costs. And you just will not regret it. You will not regret it. It changes the way you see yourself in the world, and you learn so much about yourself while also making a difference in other people's lives.
Explore the world, lend a hand, and help build hope. Find out how to start your meaningful adventure by visiting our website at www.developingworldconnections.org or by calling us toll-free at 1-866-458-8209 or emailing us at info@developingworldconnections.org.